All right, hello all. By all, probably not that many of you yet, but we are trying to build a bigger following. Hello, this is the third Shred the Spread soccer video that we'll be producing. We're a little short staffed today. We've only got me and Daniel, but we'll still be giving some great picks. Alex told me he was going to be sending in his picks. He did not. So I don't know where he's at, but we're just going to roll with the two of us today. So let's not waste any more time. We got Daniel, we got myself, Ryan, and let's talk a little EPL. Daniel, what stood out to you from last week?
Well, one of the things that stood up for me, it's the issues in defense from both Chelsea and Arsenal.
Lack of defense?
Yeah, they really need to work on their defense. Too many mistakes from Arsenal, too many mistakes for Chelsea. Jorginho is adapting himself very well to the team. Now that Sarri is the coach, he brought him over to Chelsea, and he's taking care of the midfield. Very good for him. Manchester City is just doing whatever they want, and so is Liverpool. I feel sorry for Wolves, even though that was my pick. I watched a little bit of the game against Leicester, and they were very unlucky. I mean, both goals from Leicester was just rebounds, and Wolves played, and Wolves deserved a result, but it just didn't happen. You know, soccer is just a game that cannot be predicted. The rest, well, I almost forget about my men's team, Alex's team. The same thing happened from last year. Brighton also defeated Manchester United during last season, and what they did was remarkable. They scored 3 goals in the first half, and then the second half they just didn't shoot on goal. They did all the work in the first half, then they replicated, they went back. That was more than enough. They played much better. Manchester United was disorganized. Defense, Mourinho is right. He needed players to fill up the defense, and he didn't get it. So that's pretty much what stands for. I didn't think that Brighton was going to win that match.
I'm sure neither did Alex, which is why he refused to give me a comment on it. I actually bumped into him in person yesterday and said, "Do you want to give me a comment on Man U for the video?" He said no. So, yeah, so that is actually not a bad bet to maybe look at Manchester United to not finish top 4. Right now it's paying just outside of even money at -110. I mean, it just looks like a lot of drama there in Man U. You've got Mourinho and Pogba seem to be butting heads every week. Not good over there. Not great to lose to Brighton. The neighbors, though, City just a rout. Aguero, a hat-trick. I believe he's got the second most hat-tricks, I believe it is, in EPL history now.
Yeah, I read that somewhere. He's not the second. He might, with eight hat-tricks he has in EPL.
I forget the exact number, but he was right up there, whether it would be second or third most hat-tricks in EPL history, something like that. So great for him. He and Harry Kane are now tied in the Golden Boot race, not necessarily in goals, but in odds, both tied the 2 top favorites in the Golden Boot race, just ahead of Mohamed Salah. We have to give a shout out to Alex's winning bet. He did predict a Chelsea to win, both teams to score, so he nailed that one. And just the Wolves watch, kind of the weekly Wolves watch, the team everybody's been excited to see in the EPL, still adjusting to life in the EPL. 2 weeks in a row, been up a man at some point in the game and haven't been able to get a win. So kind of disappointing, and it's probably not going to get any easier this week against Man City. So let's move into some picks. I'll just give a quick recap. So even though the first week, none of us did it very well, last week we did all turn it around, and our leading man is yourself, Daniel, from last week's picks. Even though you went 3 wins and 3 losses, your Bournemouth plus 270, Leicester plus 110, and Watford plus 240. You all of your wins were plus money, so you were plus 3.2. Alex was only 1 and 2, but Chelsea and both teams to score plus 240, so he's a plus 0.40. And myself was 2 and 1. I was plus 0.8. So just barely. Had Wolves been able to get 1 goal, I could have had a clean sweep, but I lost that bet. And overall in the standings, one of these, well, post-production, I'll make a little graphic so we can see on the screen. But Daniel, you were leading the way, plus 1.25 units. And then we got Alex just behind, -0.6, and myself in the rear, -1.2. So hopefully I can improve this week. And on that note, what anything stand out to you from a betting perspective this week, Daniel?
Yes, Arsenal is going to defeat West Ham. It's going to be the first point for Emery's team. I'm pretty sure that he's going to get used to the league, and he's going to get the 3 points back home. He's going to leave them there in London.
Now, is that going to be an official pick? Because doesn't pay very much.
I know. I'm still thinking. The surprise. Okay, well, I think Manchester United is going to officially go into a crisis this week. I think Tottenham will defeat them away, both teams to score.
So Tottenham to win and both teams to score?
Correct.
Okay.
And Fulham is going to get their first 3 points against Burnley.
Okay.
2. I'm not going to risk on how many goals or no, they're just going to win.
Even money?
Say that again?
Even money on Fulham?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Bournemouth and Everton, they're going to tie. Those are my picks for EPL.
All individual picks, so we'll keep Arsenal. That will almost like -3 to 1, -275. I think we lost Daniel.
Now, can you hear me now?
Oh, we got him back.
Okay. I was saying that I don't know what's happening with West Ham. They had a real good signing session. Very good players, a coach with experience, and they're just not making it. I think they're gonna pick up soon. I have them as the 7th place for this season.
Okay.
And I'm starting to get concerned. It's too early though.
All right, so we're gonna go for you, Arsenal, Tottenham win and both teams to score, Fulham and Bournemouth and Everton.
Everton and Bournemouth tie.
Yeah.
It's a tie.
Okay, so myself, I do feel like it was a little bit of a tough week here, but I also have some action on the Bournemouth-Everton match. I think both teams are going to score in that game. I'm going to have three teams in this one bet. Both teams to score with Everton and Bournemouth. Liverpool to score at least 2 goals at home to Brighton. And I know it's supposed to be the EPL segment, but I'm going to throw in Atletico Madrid, an easy one at home against Rayo Vallecano. So if you look at the last 3 matches with Bournemouth and Everton, 2-1, 2-1, 6-3. 4 of the last 5 have had both teams to score. So these teams usually see a lot of goals on the board when they play. Everton have seen both teams to score in both matches so far. They've already got scored on at home last week against Southampton, of all teams, not a team that's known for their scoring. Bournemouth scored 2 goals in both of their matches. Liverpool at home, I mean, kind of enough said. I mean, to get 2 goals at home to Brighton shouldn't be too tough. Brighton allowed 2 goals in each of their games already. Watford even beat them 2-0 at home. So if they can do it, I think Liverpool can do it. And I mean, Vallecano, we got a promoted team from Segunda on the road. They lost 4-1 to Sevilla last week. I don't know how Atletico Madrid can't beat them. So those 3 together, we got plus 109. You got 2 relegation candidates playing this week, Huddersfield and Cardiff. It's really hard to see any difference between those 2 teams. I'm going to take half of what I would usually bet and take a draw on that game. Because, I mean, somebody could easily win 1-0, but...
Hey, just so you know, Cardiff played very well against Everton was the last match, was it? Was against...
I'm blanking off the top of my head. But
I forgot. These Cardiff against Newcastle.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I thought Newcastle was going to win. Another team that is pretty disappointing so far. Newcastle, they were playing with... so there was one player, a midfield, forgot his name. He got substituted because he was risking the red card. They get a new player in, and that player makes a stupid mistake, a stupid challenge, and he gets a red card. then a player misses a penalty kick. How can you not win against Cardiff City? I mean, Newcastle is a middle table team, I know, but come on. I don't know. I think Cardiff. I would pick Cardiff for that game. The way I'm seeing both teams playing, Huddersfield and Cardiff, I would probably pick Cardiff. Actually, I'm gonna pick Cardiff.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
All right.
Cardiff's gonna win.
I like your enthusiasm. It's really hard for me to get
behind.
Oh,
and aren't we supposed to pick the same amount of games?
It's a free-for-all. Whatever you like. We don't know what each other research before the game starts.
I'm gonna keep putting my trust into Real Betis. So they're gonna win. They're gonna win away against Alaves.
Real Betis. Well, you made money taking 6 games last week, and you're at 6 already. So maybe 6 is your lucky number.
Yeah, you know, in the Italian league, I'm very biased. So I don't know if.
I'm looking at a draw there between Cardiff and Huddersfield. I just think you got 2 rubbish teams. Neither team's very good. Maybe Cardiff played well last week. Now they're going on the road, though. And Cardiff has no goals scored. Huddersfield 1 goal scored. These teams have a very long history of play against each other, dating way, way back. Not so much in the Premier League, but in lower divisions. Cardiff drew last week, even though I believe they had no shots on goal. So not very good. And then my last bet there, I also like Watford and Crystal Palace, both teams to score. And I'm going to throw Barcelona in there with them. So that's a plus 110. Watford, they've won 2-0 at home and 3-1 on the road last week to the defensive-minded Burnley. So Burnley's usually pretty defensive. They could score on them. Crystal Palace also had lots of scoring ability with Zaha. Shut out to Liverpool last week, but won 2-0 on the road to Fulham in week 1. And then, similar to my last bet, we got another promoted team in Segunda Valladolid. A Segunda team, Valladolid, playing Barcelona. I don't know how they would beat them. However, shockingly, the last time these 2 teams met, they did beat Barcelona 1-0 back in 2014.
But this is in the 2nd division, right?
No, last time Valladolid were in La Liga, 2014, at home in this position, beat them 1-0. So it's possible, but my money's on Barcelona and a Watford Crystal Palace, both teams to score. What do you think about Chelsea and Newcastle this week? Because it looks like the dangling carrot to me, just sitting there waiting for you to take Chelsea. Like, bet me, and they're gonna slip up.
Well, as I was saying, Newcastle. I don't know what's going on with those guys. They should have won the last 2 games and they just tied. I would pick Chelsea, but I'm not going to put it in my list.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because I had it written down originally as Chelsea, and then I'm sitting here and I'm looking, and if you look at these 2 teams when they've played each other, a road team has not won since back in 2012. Between Chelsea and Newcastle, when they play, a road team hasn't won since 2012.
Wow.
It's always the home team winning.
Or a tie.
Mostly just the home team winning, to be honest.
Newcastle beating.
Not even. There was one tie back in 2015. They tied in Newcastle 2-2, and everything else is a home win. So I just found that kind of interesting. If you look at the trend.
Oh, Manchester United against Tottenham. They play on Monday.
Yeah.
What a terrible day too. That's the best match. Well, that's the best match of the day, of the weekday. And I won't be able to watch the match. Well, it is what it is. In Serie A, you want to talk about a little bit of Italy? I failed the Inter Sassuolo, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm upset about that. I'm not going to tell you I'm upset. Every time I see that team lose, it's just I don't know how to explain. It's just I don't know. It's just my day changes. Yeah.
My day didn't go well. I had Inter. I should have known better. Sassuolo actually beats them quite a bit if you look historically.
Yeah, but I usually don't pay attention to the history. When 2 teams go in a field for 90 minutes, you don't care about history. You care about reality and about the present. And Inter must have won, and they did not. They not only did they lose, they played really bad. The distance between one, like the defensive line, the midfield, and the strikers, there was a huge hole in the middle. The team was completely disconnected.
I wasn't happy. I was watching.
Keep playing like that. Keep playing like that. Keep playing like that for the entire season, and I don't mind it. But I'm surprised with the team they have that they made so many mistakes in the midfield.
What about Juve and your team?
I suffered. You messaged me. I was traveling, and I had a meeting with some coworkers, and then I had like 3 hours left. So I went to a Starbucks and watched the game. I opened my laptop and watched the game. I was suffering. But in terms of game, Juventus is a Ferrari. Juventus is a Lamborghini. I watched the first half, and I was enjoying the way they were playing together. They're getting along very well. Ronaldo already said that the team feels like a family. And that's pretty much what Juve is. Juve is a family. It's actually been, the owners of that team has been the Agnelli family for years. So it's a very, very, for being a big team, it's a very family-oriented team. And Ronaldo is noticing that. Ronaldo is liking it. And I liked what I saw. Even though I suffered, I liked the type of game that I watched, especially in the first half.
I didn't suffer from a passion standpoint like yourself, but I had thrown Juventus in on another ticket to just up the payout. So I was suffering until the end too, thinking I was going to lose my ticket because of Juventus. And they luckily pulled it out for me. So
you know what? In Napoli-Milan, I don't know who's going to win. So I'm not going to put that game. I think Napoli is going to win, but I'm not going to put the game in the list. However, Higuain is going to score. Higuain is going to score for Milan. Every time he goes to that stadium, he scores. Every single time. So, except for one game back in like 2 years ago. But if I could put Higuain to score right now in our list, that's going to be my bet. But I don't know if that counts for this game.
You can do whatever. They offer anytime goal scorer bets. I don't know what the odds are yet, but I will do some research on that.
I recommend everyone who's watching it, put money on Higuain scoring against Napoli on Saturday at 2:30. Well, not at 2:30, between 2:30 and 4:30 p.m. Eastern time.
So Gonzalo Higuain, anytime goal scorer, plus 210. So you got just over 2-1 odds. KO. Pretty good odds. I like it. We got the Bundesliga starting this weekend as well. So the final big league to kick off. And I was looking at a team
without Hamburg.
Sorry?
Without Hamburg.
Without them.
Yeah, the first time they go, it was the only team who was never relegated, and they got relegated last year.
No, everybody has their time. I'm looking at a team like maybe Schalke, who came second last year, as maybe looking at a bet in a top 4 bet. You can get them at even money to finish top 4. I know there was a lot of thought that they were going to lose a lot of players last season. Usually the big, teams like Bayern Munich pick off all the strong players, and I don't believe they lost really anybody. Maybe one guy, I think it was. So yeah, I managed to keep that club together. So it could be a good bet to finish top 4. Anything you like in the German league this week?
No, it's the problem with that league is very similar to the Italian league. As to Bayern are the owners of that league, right?
Yeah.
I like Wolfsburg Schalke. That's gonna be a nice match. But I don't know who's gonna win. I'm not gonna lie to our viewers.
I was really close to trying to include a Dortmund and Leipzig, both teams to score bet. It seems like an easy one. It seems like they're 2 high-scoring teams. Probably should be able to score. Both times they played each other last year, both teams scored. But then I'm looking at it and I see that Leipzig, they just played in the Europa League playoffs today, actually, on the road to Zorya. Zorya is a Ukrainian team. We're not exactly talking the cream of the crop here. And they drew 0-0 on the road to Zorya. So now they're going to go back home, or not even home. They're going to go back to Germany home, but still on the road. and have to play in Dortmund. And now they have to win at home to Zorya next week. So now I'm just wondering, are they going to rest them guys? I believe the game's Sunday. You might rest them players because they need to win next week to move on in Europa. So I came close, but I had to stay off of it. Maybe they lose 2-0 or 1-0 in Dortmund. So. And then the odds for MLS surprisingly are not out yet. I keep checking; they're not up. I know there's some games going on right now. I'm watching some Houston, Dallas.
I'm done with TFC. Well, tomorrow is the derby of Los Angeles.
I was going to mention that. I want to put both teams to score. I mean, it's not going to pay very well, but if I can find something else in MLS on the weekend to put with that, we've had 4-3 and 2-2 already in the El Tráfico, and it's got to be another both teams to score. I don't know how both teams don't score. There's too much firepower out there.
And then TFC against Montreal. It's going to be the Eastern Canadian derby.
It's rivalry week in MLS. We have Chicago, Columbus. We're playing earlier. We've got Houston, Dallas, the Texas Derby going right now, and it's rivalry week all across MLS. So it'll be an exciting weekend. MLS.
These are teams that are close to each other. Well, except for Minnesota and Kansas.
We had the New York Derby yesterday. Went 1-1 draw with New York City FC and New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
And right now we're in the 55th minute, and it's 0-0 on the board with Houston and Dallas.
Yeah.
Got it on right here. So.
Yeah, I don't know. This league is very, very unpredictable.
MLS? I honestly think I do the best in MLS bets. I've been tracking it, and I'm up a good 10 units of MLS. I feel it can be unpredictable, but the thing that's not unpredictable is that teams are going to score, and teams don't win on the road. Bet against Minnesota on the road. Find two teams that have some strong designated players and weak defenders, and just go both teams to score. Put 2 or 3 of those games together.
If I want to put some money on the MLS, I'll come to you. I'll ask you. What should I do?
I think it's my favorite league to bet.
Yeah. Yeah, you're very good at it.
I do my best to watch almost every game every week, and I read the recaps. I have a notebook where I break down who scores and how many shots and possession each team had. It's a fun league to bet.
So MLS, I have no thoughts. I haven't done my homework with that league.
Any other, just in general, any other bets or thoughts?
I would like to talk about Copa Libertadores.
Oh yes, you did mention that. All right, well.
Yeah. So we have the second leg of the 8 finals. For those of you who don't know what Copa Libertadores is, that's basically the Champions League version of South America. So very competitive teams, like the best teams in the world. Some of those teams are teams that are historically best teams in the world, like Boca, who defeated Real Madrid back in 2002 and defeated AC Milan in 2007. We're talking, or 2003. We have River Plate, the other big team in Argentina. We have Gremio, who won the Copa Libertadores last year. So I would put over here. Boca and Palmeiras are obviously going to go through because they both won 2-0. So if that's an easy bet, I think Corinthians from Sao Paulo, Brazil, is going to overcome the 1-0 score that they had against Colo-Colo from Chile. Cruzeiro is most likely going to pass against Flamengo. They defeated Flamengo, the most popular team in Brazil. Cruzeiro, the team from Belo Horizonte, they play in that stadium where Brazil got 7-1. The team that played in that stadium, they defeated Flamengo, the team from Rio, 2-0 in the previous match. But one of the most interesting match is the Argentinian derby between Racing in English, and River Plate. So apparently River Plate, my favorite team in Argentina personally, they had put on the field Zuculini, ex-Verona from Italy, and he wasn't allowed in the Copa Libertadores. So they just noticed that, and they're risking either suspending him for the rest of the competition, or even worse, forcing Racing to have won the previous match 3-0 before they even jump, which is very unlikely. So they're going to jump to the second half to the second leg with 3 goals behind. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But if that doesn't happen, I'm going to put River Plate. They're going to go through. I don't know if you want to add that in your list of.
Do you want to add that as the question?
Yes.
You think
only Racing Club does not get the 3-0 on their favor. Only if they don't punish River Plate. Only if the CONMEBOL doesn't punish River Plate for that. If that doesn't happen,
you send
River
me a
Plate's
text
gonna
this week and find out if that happens or not.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Oh, it's good stuff. It's always good. There's a lot of value sometimes in some of those lesser leagues or tournaments that not everybody's watching, not everybody's talking about. Less people betting sometimes means better odds. So.
And Alex still has some chance to submit his picks, right?
I mean, if he sends them to me like tonight.
Or tomorrow.
Or like tomorrow morning, but he's running out of time. So if he sends them in, I'll make a little graphic and add them. If not, it is what it is. I haven't heard from
we should record ourselves in that game that we're gonna go to, MLS. We're gonna be present in Toronto FC against LAFC on Saturday, September 1st.
I haven't bought the tickets yet, so.
Well, we'll be there. I trust you. I trust that you're.
So 100% I should buy the tickets.
We should bring a GoPro and start, like, that old YouTubers, like, hey, you're here.
There's another both teams to score. I am willing to say both teams to score.
Yeah, but that's in the next show.
Yes.
That's in the next podcast.
Next show. And next show, we have some tentative plans to talk about the Champions League draw, the group stage, since that should be happening next Thursday morning. So if we stay true to form and record next Thursday again, then we should be able to talk some Champions League draw.
Yeah. Getting our picks between first place and second place.
Hopefully the odds will be out, and we'll be able to put some numbers to those picks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have nothing else, Daniel.
I'm good. I think we have our picks. You're going to show them to the audience so they can use our knowledge to make some money.
If people had made better picks last week, they'd be in the positive this week. Not so much week 1, but last week, yes.
Especially if they pay attention to what I said.
That's true. Right now, you're killing it. You were killing it last week. Overall, you're in the lead slightly. Okay.
Very good. Well, I'm also picking more games.
Yeah, well, everybody's got their own strategy, right? Like, whatever works for you. As long as we all end up in the positive at the end of the year, that's what matters.
That's what matters.
All right, folks. Daniel, thank you. And
thank you so much, Ryan.
Until next time.
See you. See you guys.